Why is that still here? I keep forgetting that I need to turn that off. Hello. Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to Cozy Coffee Chats. I've only done this apparently 9 times ever since I started the Cozy Coffee Chats. I know I've done more just chatting streams, but I don't do a whole lot, I've noticed. I don't know what it is. I think... Okay. The other day, I started playing with some friends offline. I got invited to play some games, and ever since then, my tongue has felt really, really weird. I think I pulled my tongue. I think I pulled a muscle in my tongue. So my tongue feels really, really weird when I talk. It doesn't hurt, it just like is sore. So I'm gonna try and be like more chill today with chatting. Well, I got my coffee mug. I'm actually IRL. I am drinking some tea because my tummy is not very happy today. So I have some ginger and honey tea. It's not caffeinated because I already had my caffeine tea earlier today. I had some nice cold floral-y tea. It's like a black floral tea. It doesn't really have a name for it because it's based off of a Genshin character. So, so I had that, but now I'm having some hot tea. Hopefully it will also help my tongue and maybe give it some relief. But I don't know about that. We'll have to see. So we have some things to talk about. This is gonna be a short stream, by the way. I'm gonna just clarify this right now. So it's gonna be very short. The reason to why this is short is because I have to go to a collab in like a few hours. And when I mean a few, I mean like 3-4 hours from now. But I wanted to stream. And so I'm streaming now, so that then I have time to maybe make some clips, and then I can go and do that. I honestly don't think that we're gonna get many clips from this. I'd be very much surprised if we do. If we don't, we don't. But today we're in the brand new chatting area, which is the Meadow, which is I made this specifically for like cozy chatting. So if you don't touch grass today, well, at least you're out in the meadow. You're touching grass virtually. I literally just made this so you can touch grass. I hope that you are now enjoying the touching of the grass. Enjoy it. Revel in it. Be the grass. Yeah, so today, one thing I kind of do want to talk about today, which is something that I've been saying in a few other streams, but I just haven't like really for certain said it. So one major thing I want to discuss today is I want to talk about the difference between being a content creator or even being a VTuber or doing VTubing for hobby reasons and then having it to be a career reason. And for me, I am doing this as a career, not out of because I want to make this a career. Well, I mean, I would love to, but because I have no choice. I've been very much unemployed for years. I've been applying to jobs for years with my degree, outside of my degree. It just hasn't been going well. So me doing streaming and content creation and all of that sort of stuff, it's the only way I'm making any income right now. And I will tell you this much, I do not make any income month to month. Transparently, The only time that I ever really make money from content creation is when I do subathons. Most of the time, I barely see any money. I see like maybe a few cents a stream. And I know that that's the case because I don't have a lot of viewers. And that's the truth. And a lot of people do get into content creation for quick, easy popularity money. And let me just tell you that I've been here for 5 years and it's still been like this. When I started, this was completely a hobby thing. But now that I have the time, I've been fully investing a lot more time into it. When it comes to doing commissions, like, you know, I do secure a few, but I'll tell you this much. The amount of commissions I get is not as much as you think it is, even though that my art is really good. You know, a lot of people say, oh, I love your art. Your art's so great. Your art's so amazing. Yeah, you can say that and then no one commissions me. This isn't me saying entitlement, okay? This is not me being entitled. This is just, I know that people don't have money, and I know that at the end of the day, you don't need my, you know, if you need money in order to get food or buy my art, I'd rather you buy food, okay? If you, you know, you could give me a sub or you can get food, please get food. I'd rather you have food and a roof over your head than be paying me money, okay? That's first and foremost. I want you guys to be able to take care of yourselves. You know, I do appreciate when people do donate or when people subscribe or, you know, or even if people just show up. I do appreciate that because at the end of the day, I do get ad revenue, you know, at least on Twitch, I get ad revenue. On YouTube, I don't. YouTube's weird because YouTube is like, hey, you get this one bar and you can get memberships and super chats. And then you have to hit the next hurdle and then you can be able to get ad revenue. And actually I looked at it and they increased the threshold again. They keep moving the goalpost. They keep moving the goalpost and I'm like, I'm never getting at this point. I've just accepted it. TikTok, I'm not even gonna try. I do have merch. I have Ko-fi. I even have a Patreon. Okay. I'm gonna be honest here. I have legitimately thought about opening up an OnlyFans for the reason that you think, which I never want to do. Okay, that's something that I usually don't want to do, but I've unfortunately thought about it because I know it makes money, and that's sad. That's a sad truth. And that's not even just me as like a VTuber. I'm saying like, honestly, if anything, it'd probably just be me drawing art, you know, art of art. So it wouldn't be my actual body. I know that I make a joke about the George OnlyFans and or the Only George, where it's just gonna be froggy pictures of George, and I have actually thought about doing that as a joke. But I have legitimately thought about it. Because that's the unfortunate truth of everything. I never want to be into that position. That's just more of the seriousness that's going on with a lot of stuff recently. You know, with a lot of things of where I am a little nervous, not only for me, but also for my mother, because there's a large possibility that our health insurance might go away. So I won't have access to health insurance. And my mother, of course, is getting up in years, and her not having it would be very detrimental. I don't think that for her she will, but there is a chance for me, because of how certain requirements are changing for it. And it's just not going well. I'd love to be in a position where I don't have to worry about this. I'd love to go back to the times where I was just doing this as a hobby and it being fun. And I still do have fun. Okay? I do still have fun. I have fun chatting with you guys. I have fun being here. It's more of when you are starting to make this a full-time, a lot of people always say don't make it a full-time job until you are making this much money. And I'm like, there are some people out here in this world that can't do that. They might not have really a choice. I know I do technically still have a choice, and honestly, if a job opportunity comes up, I'm gonna try and take that job so I can be able to have money, so that maybe I can put more of it into other stuff. Like, you know, then I could hire an editor, then I could hire people. The problem is I am very socially awkward, and I'm gonna be honest here, I've just cut out doing a possibility of doing what is it called, customer service jobs, because I get annoyed really quickly and I don't want to get fired because of lashing out. I know that there's a large possibility I wouldn't do that, but there comes a point where I'm going to be at my wit's end with it, and I'm like, I'd rather quit than stay there. So, but it's like, if I even get hired, I'm gonna be honest, I've applied for like cashier jobs, I've applied for like everything and anything. I've seen like help wanted signs everywhere, and I'm just like, hey, you have a help wanted sign, can I get hired? And they're like, oh, apply online, you know, everything's online. And then I never hear back. One time I did hear back, and it was like months later, and they're like, yeah, so when you had applied, the job had already been filled. And I'm like, okay, so when I applied, it was filled. Why didn't you take the thing down? That's so weird. I don't know. So I don't like discussing money. I don't like talking about my situations, but that's like the truth of the matter here. That's why it's like, you know, I've said in the past, like, I'm gonna try and be art creates for as long as I possibly can with streaming, but there could be a time or a moment where I will have to leave, not because I want to, because I'm gonna be honest, I would love to still do this as a hobby even if I get a job. There just might be less things that might be happening, right? So a lot more projects might be getting pushed to the wayside and probably be disposed of because I probably won't have the time to do so. But like I said, like even if I was making $50 a month as an income, like that would be so much better than what it is now. And that's like the true reality of stuff. I know I wanted to get the serious stuff like here right now, like out of the way, but then we can spend the rest of the time talking about like other fun stuff, because I don't like talking about this. But yeah, for right now I'm a full-time content creator because I can't get hired. And it kind of makes me feel like a really big failure because I worked so hard to do stuff, and then this comes up and I'm just like, and I try to do everything, you know, you do everything that you need to do, and then it's not enough. And soul crushing. And I'm still here and very passionate about creating content, being a streamer. But the true reality is I've done all of this for free for years. And yeah, plenty of content creators have also been in that position where they have been making and creating content for years without getting paid. And the truth of the reality is that I might be still going like this for many, many years to come. And I don't really care about not getting money, I just care about being able to live. I know that my character is smiling, but I'm gonna be honest here. I'm like on the verge of tears. I smile when I'm in pain a lot of the times. Still a little, still getting over my cold. But the truth of the matter is, I still want to create. I still want to be here. I still want to be creating content. I still want to be doing the amazing work that I'm doing. It's just I don't know how much longer I can. I'm honestly shocked I've gotten to 5 years. Like when I say I'm surprised I got into 5 years, I'm gonna be honest. I thought I was gonna go after 3. I thought I would be signing my graduation notice at 3. I'm still here. We are definitely growing. I do think I'm definitely becoming a little bit more well known. I think I'm still small. I think, you know, we're just gonna have to, you know, I literally am taking, it's not even just each year. It's literally each month. It's each month, month by month, just trying to figure out how it is. And first off, I will say, I don't want your sympathy. I don't want any of your sympathy. I don't want it. I don't need it. I know everyone's going through shit. I don't want your money out of pity. I don't want your money out of sympathy. I don't want any of that. I just want to tell you how it is. And this is the truth. Yeah. There's that. You know, I wish that there was more I could do. I wish I could do so much more things. But in this world, you need money for everything. I don't have it. The other day I was talking about like doing a Kickstarter thing, or like to support like a Kickstarter. I don't even have the money to do that. I sometimes barely have the money in order to pay for new games. Because I see everyone buying new games, playing new games. I don't have money for it. It took me almost like a year and a half to save up just to try and get my PC. And that was because I opened up a bunch of commissions. I opened up like so much stuff and was saving away for a literal entire year to be able to just get a PC. And even still, I didn't buy it fully myself. My partner paid for half of it. I'm lucky that I have a partner that's like willing to help me out here and there. And the funny thing is, he even told me, he's like, I want to make enough to where you never have to work. And I was like, oh, that's so nice of you. But at the same time, I also want to become financially responsible. You know, I want to be able to have some of my own money as well. You know, I'm somewhat lucky that I am making enough to where I can be able to pay for some things on my own and do finally have that financial responsibility, like, you know, financial freedom. Most of the games that you've seen me play, I have, within the past year, I have probably paid for myself. Stardew Valley, I paid for that myself. I made enough money through streaming, through doing commissions, through merch sales to be able to do it. By the way, we do have merchandise, and I know I don't usually like put it out there a whole lot. I only think people have bought like a few things. I do appreciate the people that have purchased things. I do really, really appreciate it. because again, without you guys purchasing that merchandise, like, I wouldn't be getting like another form of income, because they usually say, you know, a lot of people say like, oh, you need to like spread out your income of what you're making. I can hear my mom talking on the phone. There's a lot of stuff that, you know, I still want to be able to do. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I want to become financially like free enough to where my mom doesn't have to pay for Wi-Fi. I can pay for the Wi-Fi. I can pay for my own phone bill. I can pay for my car insurance, right? And it's like that's what like when people say like, oh, you know, you want to be making enough money to where, you know, you can live in a mansion. I'm like, I want to get enough money to where I can be able to pay for my own car insurance. Like, you and I are not the same. But yeah, that's the truth when it comes to content creation and such, is that, you know, a lot of people think that they're gonna grow, they're gonna become massive unless you become super viral. But even still, I know creators that have become super viral and they say like they get like pennies on the dollar for their content. So I'm like, wow, I kind of feel bad. I feel bad. But that's how it is, you know. I will say our economy isn't really great. I mean, the entirety of the economy of the world isn't really great right now. Right now I'm trying to save up for a standing desk, and also getting I might not get a drawing tablet, but just a drawing pad, because I really want a drawing pad so I don't have to be sitting with my drawing screen, like my screen, and like hunched over. Sometimes I just want to make like a really quick artwork or sketch, and it's just easier to grab the pad and draw it and then done, right? But you know, all that takes money. I'd love to pay for some music, but again, I don't have the money. I want to like, you know, upgrade some stream stuff, and I don't have the money. I know like some people might be like, oh, this sounds like e-begging. If it was e-begging, I would just every stream I'd be like, why haven't we hit 5? Why haven't we hit 5 subs? I don't want to do that. That's not what I want to do. It's not my content. It's not who I am. If I wanted to be a girlfriend experience who give me money, like, I would have done that years ago. I won't do that. I just rather tell you guys the transparency of what it is. And this is what it is. And what it is I'm so small. I'm barely making enough money to do anything. It is what it is because I'm small. As my partner says, I am little fish in a very big aquarium. Eventually, I will become bigger fish, but I am not bigger fish yet. I am small fish right now. And small fish goes around in their little ocean. I wouldn't change my community for the world. I'll tell you guys that much. I know that you guys support me, like, to hell and high water. And, you know, that's why I appreciate when people come to streams. I appreciate when people make fan art. Because you guys probably don't realize this, but that fan art, if you do fan art, it does push me out there, because, you know, it might be for the community, but it'll also be for people that are outside of our community that are going to be able to see it. I've actually gotten people asking me to be editors for them. Well, not exactly. They just asked me, hey, have you ever thought of opening up editing commissions because of how I edit my shorts? I've gotten that twice from two other creators, and I'm like, I've thought about it, but I decided not to, because I hate editing. I'm gonna be honest. I would love to, but I honestly hate editing. And the other thing is too, is I don't think it's like too terrible, but the other thing is that if they don't flip their own content, like, you know, are they sending me clips or do I have to go and scrub their VODs? I think one of them, their community does make a lot of clips, so that's a little bit easier if I were to do it. Now I'm being talked into it. Now I'm talking myself into it. Why am I talking myself into this? Okay, the question is, do I have the time? And the truth is probably not. Depends how many they want me to do. Oh. Maybe I should, like, have a package. I'll do 5 clips for this amount. They have to come back to me. The other issue is, too, with that kind of stuff is storage. Storage is definitely going to be a problem. Considering that I'm going to be having to send it to them, and I'm like, I have no idea. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of everything I kind of wanted to talk about when it comes to this stuff. You know, when I view my content creation, technically, I've only really been delving into making content for maybe the past 2 to 3 years. So when I put it in the retrospect of how much money I'm making and how long I've actually been doing it, it kind of makes sense. But again, I will say, when I look at my YouTube analytics, especially for the main channel, when I look at the analytics for it, it's going pretty well. When, you know, I look at TikTok is pretty good. You know, the only issue is, like, you know, growing on, you know, trying to grow on other platforms and then hoping they come over to Twitch is really difficult. You know, a lot of people that are on YouTube, they usually stay on YouTube, so it's hard to get them over. TikTok, a lot of people stay on TikTok, it's hard to get them over. And, you know, you just have to just keep kind of hoping that something kind of picks up and gains the traction and recognition that it needs. And, you know, I've had actual clips go viral before, but the thing is like, even though that it goes viral, it doesn't mean people are gonna come over, and that's kind of a little sad. Because a lot of people, like, are under this impression of, like, oh, if your TikTok stuff or if your YouTube short stuff goes viral, then you're gonna increase in followers and blah 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 blah. No, that's not true. I know, because I have gone viral before, and I'm still at the way I am, so that's not completely true. I do, honestly, my content at the end of the day is just what I want to do. A lot of people might come in and be like, no, you need to niche down. No, you need to do this. And honestly, the only reason why I don't want to go and get advice from managers or any of that sort of stuff is because they're going to tell me to do things that I probably don't want to do. And it's not like, oh, but this could help increase your stuff. And it's like, yeah, but that's not what I want to do for my content and my branding and stuff. You know? And at the end of the day, I would say, like, I'm just a cozy little person that has gremlin moments at times. The things are as they are. That's how it is. But yeah, I think I'm done with the seriousness. I'm done talking about the seriousness, and I'm done with it. I've said my piece. Honestly, I know that a lot of people might say, like, you shouldn't be talking about this in a live stream. You shouldn't be saying this, like, and eventually I'm gonna make this into, like, a highlight as well. You shouldn't be talking about this stuff. It's like, I want to, because I want to be transparent. I'd rather be transparent with you guys than to hide things and push it down, because it's gonna boil up and bubble over, and it's definitely gonna affect my content. So I'd rather say it and tell you guys. You know, does it upset me? I mean, anyone would be, but at the end of the day, when I look at it in a different retrospect, I'm just like, it makes sense for everything that's happening right now. Do I wish I have grown more? Do I wish I've grown bigger? Do I wish of this? Yeah, I wish all this stuff happened, right? Anybody does. Anybody wishes for popularity, and you know, when you're a content creator, you kind of do wish for popularity. But I know that I'll get there one day, and I don't know how long it will take. I don't know when it will happen. I just hope that I don't have to leave before that happens. If I do, there's a possibility that it just will be that I won't be streaming anymore, and I'll just be maybe making content, like actual YouTube videos. Honestly, I have thought about that, like taking some months off to just make YouTube videos and like make more edited shorts and just not be streaming for like a few months. But also to give me time to work like on other things too, because it's like, you know, I'm not spending time streaming and I can spend more time investing into other things. So there is that. Yay, my tea has cooled down enough to where I can drink it. It was piping hot when I first had it here, so yeah. So I've said my piece about things, and we're gonna be moving on. So funner stuff. So I did put up a poll in the Discord talking about if I should bring reading streams back, and the vote consensus is yes. So to be fair, there's only like 3 votes, so, and one of the votes is me saying I wanted it back, but another person did also vote, and the other vote was do what you please. So we're bringing it back. Bring it back. Oh, I gotta be careful. Okay, I need to actually talk about this. Okay, apparently now YouTube will hit you for acapella. I'm like, no, I do singing every now and then of random stuff. I'm like, okay, I have to now sing it really bad on purpose. Because now YouTube will get you. Oh. YouTube, let me sing a cappella. It's not like I have the actual music being played in the background and know the word and know the song by heart. Most of the time I mess up all of my songs. It's dumb. I don't know why it's doing that now. Anyways. So we're bringing reading streams back. I don't know when they'll come back specifically. I do kind of want to make a little like model or something like that just for the reading streams. Might even have a new background set up for it. I don't know. I want to make it a little bit more special. What I'm thinking of is that it'll be a nighttime stream. So for me, it'll probably be like later in the day. And I'll see if I can find a playlist for, you know, I'll make sort of like a playlist or something for us to listen to music. So that then, you know, there's some music in the background going on, mostly like cozier music. Or what I was thinking of is just playing like, is just playing like a rainy day thing or something like that. And if it's like gonna be like a rainy day thing, I'll make it so it looks like the background has like rain or whatever, so that then it looks like how it's supposed to. Now that I have access to Clip Studio's like animation. I'm probably just gonna animate it in Clip Studio and then export it out as like a movie from there. And then I'm trying to think. And then my mom talks so loud on the phone. I know you probably can't hear her, but I can. Another thing that I wanted to talk about in this is that I will be probably putting up a poll for what book we're gonna read. So what I'm thinking of putting up is Beowulf, because that's not like too extremely long of an epic. So putting up Beowulf, Treasure Island, and Paradise Lost. So I have like a few different kinds of books to choose from, of varying different degrees. So we'll pick either one of those. I'll also need to make sure, like with Paradise Lost probably specifically, if there might be some words or some things that I might have to change, maybe because those words mean other things now, and that are a big no-no on Twitch or YouTube. So there might be some stuff, probably not in Paradise Lost, well, probably not in Treasure Island, or in Beowulf. There might be in Paradise Lost, but I need to check. What I usually do is I read it myself first, and then we'll read it on stream. Usually it's so that if there's any words that I have a problem with, that I mark those and be able to remember how to say them. Because in my head, when I'm reading, I just go, oh, blubbly blub, as they progress through and found whatever his name is. Me reading Dame novels right now. Oh my gosh. I'm so bad. I try in my head to pronounce them. I try really hard. When it comes to like manga and stuff, or like Korean comics, I think I've like read and consumed or have heard like how native speakers say a lot of things, so I'm able to kind of like figure out based on certain spellings how something is pronounced. But with Dame, I haven't consumed a lot of like Chinese dramas. I kind of want to watch more Chinese dramas just to be able to understand like how they pronounce things, so that then when I see those words come up again, I can be like, oh, I know how to pronounce this now. Okay, for a really long... Okay, when I was reading Heaven's Official Blessing, it took me until maybe the 4th or 5th book to finally be able to not go Blubbity Blub's name. Sanlang was easy. But for some reason, Zhilang, I couldn't do that for like so long. And finally, I got it. And I'm like... Ugh. Right now, I'm dealing with Thousand Autumns, and if I can't say Shenkyu, I can't say it. I don't know. I say blubbly blub. It's funny because Wanwushi is fine. Yanwushi, I think is his name. That's easy. Look, I will admit, I'm not great. But I feel like anybody that has started reading Dame, they just come across that. It's funny because in the back of the book, it literally shows you how to pronounce the names. And I literally go to the back of the book to see how to pronounce these names. And I still can't pronounce them. I'm a failure to society. I'm really enjoying Thousand Autumns. I've been reading that. I've been trying to get back into reading more because when I was like sick and stuff and some other stuff was going on, I hadn't been able to like read much. So I kind of like had gotten to a stopping point and I haven't been reading. So now I'm back into reading. I read like 3 chapters yesterday. Yippee. But yeah, my reading list right now is, it's not really that huge. But it's getting somewhere. I'm making an impact on it. Because I think right now it's just like the I just need to read the Thousand Autumns volume I'm reading now, and then I need and then there's another Dame, and I'm reading the second volume for that. So that's the next one after I read Thousand Autumns, and then I have to start reading the the like 6 Apothecary Diary books that I got. I got like so many of the light novels. I did also get some manga as well, but I finished the manga. Like those ones, like I read first because those are the easiest ones to read. I finished those. But yeah, I like reading. I do like reading. It's just like sometimes when I don't have the time, it's really hard. Honestly, sometimes at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't really know what I want to do. I'd like to do like so many things. When it comes to like art, I'm like, I want to draw this. I want to draw this. I want to draw this. But I also want to do this. I also could do this. And then I could do that. And then it's like, oh, but I also could read. And it's like, what do I want to do? Yeah, so I never know what to do with my free time. I have so many things to do that I don't know what to do with it. Beautiful. But that is what it is. So. Anyone else deal with that? Where you're just like, you just never know what to do with your free time. So you decide to scroll on TikTok for hours and just hope that maybe something comes to you. Actually, I don't scroll for hours, but it do be like that sometimes. It is getting a little bit warmer in here. It's been nice and cool in the mornings. It hasn't gotten too hot, even though like it's slowly getting to like the end of it's soon eventually gonna be out of, we're gonna be out of spring and into the summer. Right? Isn't tomorrow the first day of summer, or am I thinking about July? I think it's July 21st, right? I think July 21st, it's not June. Unless I'm wrong. Here, let me look at what the first day of summer is. Oh, it is tomorrow. Okay. So not only is it Father's Day, it's also the first day of summer. Oh! Why does this do this? It's doing the thing again. Okay, so you want to know, I figured out the reason to why that happens, by the way. So the reason that this scrolly thing happens is because there's something weird happening with not Clip Studio. There's something weird with VTube Studio where basically when you open up a VTuber model, like, you know, the VTube Studio opens up for the first time, you basically have to open up another model and then go back to the model that you want to stream with. And then it fixes it. And I'm like, why? Why does that do that? That shouldn't be a thing. So yeah, when you switch to like a different model and then you switch back to the model that you want to be in, it fixes it. I don't know why. I don't know what setting it is. I don't know what setting it is by default that does that. But I have dealt with that for months at this point. Also, the other thing is that Twitch integrated throwing system just decides it wants to disconnect from Twitch integrated throwing system wants to disconnect from Oh, I'm trying to remember what it's from VTube Studio. Yeah, honestly, a lot of the stuff I've been using has just like, in some way or fashion, just breaks. I'm like, why? Why? But yeah. It's honestly crazy. I don't know. I don't know. And the thing is, like, you know, a lot of people might be like, oh, but scuff is just a part of the problem with the VTubing. I'm like, there's a difference between scuff and, like, literally the program being such a problem to where I can't use it. Honestly, I've been thinking about turning off all the Twitch integrated throwing stuff and just not having Twitch integrated throwing system anymore. Because, again, the issue is it breaks all the time. Every single stream it has broken. There's not been a stream where it hasn't broken. Apparently someone else was saying how theirs wasn't even working anymore. And Twitch integrated throwing system did say that it was going to be moving over to Steam. And I'm like, okay, how? I've already purchased it. Do I now need to purchase it again on Steam in order for it to work? Or how, from me already buying it from itch.io, like, are you gonna send me like a stream key or something? Like, so that's a unique to me kind of situation? Like, what's gonna happen in that situation from people that have already bought it? Yeah. Stream avatars, I haven't had any issues with. That one's on Steam. Haven't had any issues. Mix It Up bot, anything with that, usually it's my fault. BTS Pog, there was an issue. Now it's fine. I don't know what I did to fix it. It's just fixed now, honestly. And you know, that works all fine. The only time where things don't work is because I forget to check if it's connected to OBS, like with audio and stuff. Sometimes I forget to check that. So that's a me thing. And then VTube Studio, well, if I don't charge my iPhone, then yeah, things gonna break. Now I just always have it where it's like charging all the time when I'm streaming. Just make sure. But yeah, that's that. What else is going on in my life? There's so many things that, again, there's so many things that I could talk about, but some of the stuff is kind of personal and I can't talk about it. Oh, tomorrow, that reminds me, I got a message. I am going to be going to see The Backrooms tomorrow with a friend. Yeah, I am too afraid to go alone. So I'm bringing a friend in order to give me moral support. And then my mom's gonna go watch Star Wars. She's gonna go watch Mandalorian for Grogu. She literally is only going to see that movie just for Grogu. The funny thing is, I don't know if she's fully caught up on The Mandalorian, because I believe she has to watch The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett in order to understand what's going on in The Mandalorian. And I don't think she's fully caught up, so she's gonna be very confused, but at the same time, she's not gonna care. You wanna know why? Because Grogu's on screen. My mother is just such a sweet, innocent old lady. She's an sweet, innocent lady. All that she cares about is cute little creatures. She's so cute and adorable. I don't know. You know, like the sweet little ladies? My mom is like a sweet little lady. But there's some times where all of a sudden she just says the most out-of-pocket thing ever, and you just go, say that again? Pardon me. I didn't think that would come out of your mouth. Yeah, my mom surprised me. My mom surprises me sometimes. And to be fair, I've seen other streamers' mothers, and I'm just like, you know, your mom might say things out of pocket, but like, my mom would never say that. But then all of a sudden she does, and you're just like, what have I unearthed? Who is this person? Yeah. Be very afraid of Mama Art. Because you never... But yeah. The friend I'm going with, by the way, has also said that they're like okay with coming on stream at one point to do something, and I gotta coordinate something with them. I really do. I really want to coordinate something because I think it would be so funny. And they said that they would just actually come over here and just be like here, so it's like it wouldn't be over Discord, it would just be them actually here physically. that way, so you can hear it when they like punch my shoulder or something like that. And we just end up fighting like cats. Honestly, we are kind of like sisters sometimes. We're sisters without actually being sisters. So I'm like also making sure to like check the time because I'm gonna eventually dip. Honestly, I was thinking like if, you know, I talk for a certain amount of time, that maybe I could raid into them, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I like to, but I kind of don't want to do that. Because I want to have like a little break time to myself, be able to eat and maybe walk the doggo, and then join everyone later. So, but yeah, I'm gonna be joining Nightwolf on his stream for his 4-year anniversary. I'm like 4 years? Yeah. You know what's super surprising to me? He's been doing this for 4 years, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm really doing something wrong. Because I don't know, he just has such a great community. I love his community. They were so welcoming. You know, the good thing about his communities, they're always nice. And I appreciate that. I do compare myself a lot to my other streamer friends. I will say that much. I admit that. I'm gonna admit that. Do I feel jelly? Yeah. Am I gonna hold it against them? No. Good on them. Good on them for doing more work. For doing the work that they're doing. Honestly, to me, I think if 5 years ago I did actually have my Discord open, I think it would have been better. But the thing is, back in the day, I used to be like way more like trying to be PG-13 instead of like 18 plus like I am. I just want an 18 plus community because I'm an adult, and you know, sometimes we say things here that is definitely not appropriate for children. So that's why I kind of have it there. There was a creator that did try to make their stuff like PG-13, but I guess that something had happened and they just decided, okay, no, we're making it 18 plus again. Sorry to everybody, like anybody that's under the age of 18, can you please leave? And yeah, I can understand that. And the funny thing is that even though that I'm an 18 plus content creator, that doesn't mean that I'm a lewd tuber. You know, I don't make actual 18 plus content. I'm just a content creator that wants an 18 plus community. And I think that there is a difference between that, because a lot of people think that when a content creator has the 18 plus tag or has 18 plus, that they obviously are making 18 plus content, and that's not really the truth. It's, I want an 18 plus community. So it's just like, I want a community made up of adults and not a community made up of adults looking for adult content, because that isn't my content. My content is being a goofy little guy on the internet that sometimes draws mpreg art of their boyfriend. Okay? That's what I do. And sometimes I also draw people turning into milk cartons so that their community can drink from them. Okay? Look, that's what I do. Oh, and then there's my other illustrated art stuff, but we don't really like to talk about that. So, yeah, there's all that stuff. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been, you know, for the most part, things have been pretty chill. Other than the existential dread of trying to get a lot of stuff done. I'm gonna be honest, I overdo things. I overdo a lot of things. I'm trying to be better by like having a better work schedule about things and trying to take like more breaks and stuff. But sometimes I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot sometimes for that stuff, and I'm like, But then I'm like, if I overdo it, then I will hate myself, and I don't want to do that. Because again, I do suffer from putting a lot of stuff on my plate when I should be able to like kind of separate stuff out and, you know, learn to not do everything by myself. But, you know, when you're a smaller content creator and all that, is how it is. There's been so many Twitter posts of like smaller, like, you know, indie creators, like, you know, coming into the sphere or whatever, like becoming content creators, and a lot of people are just like, oh my gosh, you have to scrub your own VOD, you have to make your own clips, you have to edit them, and then you also have to post them, and you also have to post like other content and stuff like that, and you have to organize all this stuff. And we're like, yeah, that's what it takes. It's a one-person team, and it's a one-person team for a very long time. Okay. You know, I am thankful for anybody that does clip, you know. I would love it, you know, I would love it if, like, you know, I was clipped enough by a lot of my community members to where we could hold, like, every single month just, like, looking at people's clips and seeing, like, what they clipped and just, like, kind of having that. But, you know, I don't get clipped a lot, but eventually I want to do something like that. I want to bring back the memes one, where we chat, we're like chatting and talking about like memes and stuff. I want to do that where I review your memes. I haven't done that. I only did that once, and then I said I would like do it monthly, and then it never really happened because other stuff ended up coming up, and so I could never do it again. But I do want to do that. I do want to bring that back. That was fun. I was gonna make a video out of it, but then I decided to like kind of not, because it took me like way too long to be able to do that. So if I do it again, I'll try and work hard to do that. To like make it into like an edited video. So anyways, I'm back. Gosh. Yeah, with most things, words. Again, my tongue has been weird ever since like I was playing some games with some friends. My tongue has been weird. Also, I've just been very tired. Well, then again, I didn't go to bed until like really late last night because I was just like staying up. I was staying up to write some stuff, and I'm tired. I'm very tired. I'm a tired being. And then I have collab. Why did I do this? This is how it is. This is how I am most of the time. Yeah. Oh, you want to know one thing that I've been thinking about doing? I've been thinking about doing, brain. Find the thought. Brain, find the thought. Where is the thought? The thought escapes me. Where is it? I don't know. The thought has left. Oh, multi-streaming. There we go. I finally found the thought. I found it. It took a while. That's what happens when you're tired. So I wanted to say that I've been thinking about multi-streaming, but the thing is, I don't know if I really want to still. Because again, I on the main YouTube channel, like, it's been good. The only issue is, like, I still have the VODs channel, so it's like all the videos would still be posted up to the VODs channel. And then I would have the YouTube. So.
A devotee is checking in. To ensure check-in is complete, please give me your credit card.
Thank you for the check-in, and thank you for the 5 times that you've handed over your credit card. George definitely does appreciate it. How it going? It going good. I'm just a little tired. We've just been talking about things. Earlier on I talked about some earlier on I kind of talked about some stuff with well, I don't really know how to say it. It sounds weird. I talked about some money problems. And how I'm not like choosing, it's not my choice to be a full-time content creator. It's unfortunately what I have to do. Finding a job has been very hard and difficult. So, but I appreciate you guys coming in here, because then I can milk you for ad revenue. No, no, honestly, that's true though. You know, the more followers, the more viewers that you have watching, then the more you get in ad revenue. Yippee. That sounds bad, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. But I said my piece earlier, so I'm not going to discuss it anymore. And then I talked about some stuff with reading streams coming back. I don't know when they will exactly come back, but I will put up a poll for which book that you guys can want to choose that we can read. And it'll be kind of like this, where it'll be like very, very chill, very calm. Not me and my craziness, right? This is like how I normally am. This is like my normal speaking voice. You know, when I get like super passionate and stuff like that, yeah, I do go higher up in pitches and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it happens. Yeah. It's more of like with content creation and everything. I don't make any money, and I was like trying to be like very transparent. Like I don't make any money. I think that a lot of people are under, because I've actually had other creators tell me that they think I'm bigger than what I am. And when I tell them how big I actually am, or like, you know, how much I'm making, or like everything that's going on behind the scenes, they literally tell me like, you should be so much bigger than what you are. And I'm like, well, I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you think that. And that's why a lot of other creator friends that I've made kind of really do try and hype me up and stuff. The problem is like, they say that, and then, you know, And then, you know, they go off and they do their own thing. They say it, and then, you know, I wouldn't say I'm asking or begging them to be like, please promote me. It's like, you know, they tell me that, and then they go on about their day. Because honestly, you know, we're all in the same boat. You know, we're trying to all get to a point where we can become full-time creators. Some of them have, which I appreciate. That I'm glad that they did. I'm like, yeah, go, I will be your hype woman. Love them to death. So, it's just kind of very saddening to hear, like, from some of them when they go like, oh my gosh, you should be so much bigger than what you are. You know, you do so much great things. You're such an amazing person. And I'm like, thank you. I wish that the algorithm saw it that way. It just is what it is, you know. Apparently, I am not algorithm friendly. I don't curse. I don't have show my big boobas off. But apparently, I'm still not algorithm friendly. Oh my gosh, back in the day with some of my TikToks, I used to get flagged for adult content, and I'm like, what? And my VTuber model was like fully covered. Huh? Yeah, my VTuber model was fully covered. So for a long time I had to do that. Yeah, I think like a lot of times it's like the algorithm, I'm gonna be honest here, the algorithm, because a lot of people like to talk about how the algorithm is always shifting, and I'm like, no, it's not that the algorithm always shifts, it's that the algorithm shifts every single day, because whatever is viral on that day is what the algorithm deems as every other content that is exactly like this content is what is important for that day. And I'm like, so the algorithm actually technically changes every single day, because a lot of people like to say it changes every week. I'm like, no, it changes every day. That's why you kind of just got to keep throwing your hat into the ring, and hopefully one day it'll get there. Funny enough, I've gone viral a few times. So when I do tell people, like, I have gone viral a few times, they're just like, oh, but no one came here. I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about virality. Yeah, it does make you viral, but it only makes you viral on that one platform. It doesn't make people switch over to other places. But yeah, back a while ago, it was with my first model, or like my version 1.0, which this outfit is inspired more by my version 1.0 with the covering of the tatas, the shawl here in the front, like it, all of that. And for some reason I got marked for adult content, and I never understood why. And I was like, why? And every single time I like appealed it got appealed. Like it was like, oh yeah, this is definitely not that. There was one time one of my videos was marked for fraud. And I was like, what? Why is it marked for fraud? And the reason it got marked for... Okay, so first off, the original thing is it was like offensive content. So at first it was for offensive content, so I was appealing it. And the appeal, instead of appealing it, it decided that it was for fraud. And so, do you want to know what it was? It was me talking about potatoes being tubers. So VTubers, because we have tuber, we're just potatoes. And that was the entirety of the clip. It was just me comparing VTubers to potatoes. And it got marked for fraud. So trust me, the algorithm is way better than what it used to be, okay? When an oddly specific clip to get snippy at art for you. It wasn't YouTube, it was TikTok. YouTube was fine. YouTube was completely fine. It didn't care. Just heard somebody's lunch go down. Do you want to go get lunch, Leia? Or you're gonna get up when I get up. Leia's been sticking really close to me because somebody set off fireworks and they don't like that. Of course, this TikTok, the site is just awful. It is, but unfortunately, because it has a very large user base, it's very good in order to get people in. Because I've actually gotten a few people in from stream, into the community from TikTok. There also, of course, has been through YouTube Shorts as well, which is really good. I'm glad that there is that as well. So yeah, it's a whole bunch of different people coming in from different places, but mainly most of the time it's probably either from TikTok or from YouTube Shorts. Trying to think. Some people do just find me randomly by just scrolling on Twitch and just kind of find me randomly. So there's a few people that have found me just from that. I think some of my longtime people that have been here, they just kind of found me at a happenstance. Sometimes some people have found me through Twitter or through Blue Sky as well. So there are different people depending on which platform. I know I've heard a lot of people saying, hey, you should get an Instagram. Posting your art on Instagram, and you should be posting up your clips on Instagram. And I literally went to my boyfriend and my friend, who are both on Instagram, and I asked them, should I post on Instagram? And both of them said no. They said no because of how much of Reels is just a cesspool. This is not it. Okay. Some people have said I should try Facebook, and I'm like, Facebook? The only reason why I don't want to do Facebook is because a lot of my family is on Facebook, and I don't want them to find me. Because the last thing I need is for my family members to come in here. Because again, some of my family is kind of religious. Look at me. Some of them might not care, some of them will. And then there's Twitter. Okay, I know that some people say that Twitter is bad. Twitter is bad if you only interact with that kind of content, like with that kind of like hateful-ish content. Does Twitter still spit it out at you? Yeah, but you know what I do? I mute or block and move on with my life. That's what I do. Honestly, there's so many creators that I actually have muted, meaning like they're not blocked, right? But I don't see their content. I don't see what they're posting up or anything. I don't barely use the For You page. I do, but most of the time I think the only reason why I use the For You page on there is just mostly because most of my For You page is just art. A lot of it is like BL art, and there's a reason. But also like it's art, it's VTubers, sometimes it's other content creators too. Or it's like updating on creator news, like, if there's something new happening on Twitch or something like that. So it's like I get updates for that. So it's like basically a little itty bitty like news feed, if anything. But also I just scroll on there for art. Same with Blue Sky. That's what I do. Blue Sky is just me looking at art. This is supposed to be that my doom scrolling is getting chronic. Yeah. I will say my chronic doom scrolling is only on TikTok, but I'm trying my best. I actually have settings on my phone that basically limit me to how much time I can be spending on them, and then it literally turns the app off and disables it to where I can't use it. So That's good. So it limits my exposure. So, forgot to ask. Do the ad redeems get you revenue of any sort? Yes, because it actually plays ads. There is some people that'll come in and just play the ads and then just say see ya, and I'm like, and they're like, you will now take everybody's money. And I'm like, what the hell? And one time they tried to spam it, and I'm like, no, you can't spam it. There's a reason there's a timer on it. And so they played it, and then they waited until the timer was up, and they played it again. I'm like, guys. And they're like, we want you to have money. We want you to have money. But yeah, all the ad revenue thing does is it actually turns on like a Twitch ad. So the 1 minute one will play a 1 minute, and then the 3 minute one will play a 3 minutes of ads. Or wrong for me to replicate that. If you have the channel points, it's your choice. It's your choice because you're, you know, oh wait, you have a sub. You're gonna be fine. I just realized you have the little sub badge. I'm like, oh wait, you're a sub. You don't care. I have 4K. I can do just for fun. Oh my gosh. You could. Honestly, you could. So some is just there too, yeah. Okay, for some reason there are some people in my community that are in Europe that for some reason just don't get ads.
Chaotic has chosen for chat to suffer.
Well, suffer they shall. I also forgot, George actually says something when you do that. Any lurkers will have to endure it, yes. Yeah, I've noticed for the most part, like, you know, I'm definitely not like, I'm definitely like a second screen streamer, and my boyfriend was saying, like, you know, you're definitely a second screen streamer, and I'm like, I don't care about being a second screen streamer, honestly. I don't care if you have me, like, on in the background or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, you just sitting here, you just lurking, guess what? You watch, you know, the ads play, I get money. So, you giving me money by just sitting there. Just saying. The only thing is now is just YouTube. I need to get up in watch hours. I've already hit, I think I'm gonna eventually hit the threshold for like followers and all of that. The one problem is video hours. To be honest, I don't have a lot of videos on there to begin with, so I understand that. But, you know, if I got like 1,000 people watching like one video, or like a 1,000 views on like one video, it'd probably get most of my watch hours up. Right now it's at like 4. And I need like I think it's like 1,000. I think it's like 1,000. Let me look. I'm actually have YouTube open. I can think the playlist of videos on there, but I fear you would drop in the ocean. Hey, one person does it, maybe. The thing is like with viewership and stuff, you need people to view your content in order to push it out in the algorithm. So if people start watching it, and even if you start just watching it over, you know, watching it, whatever, it'll eventually be like, oh, well, people are now watching this. Let me put this back out into the circle, like, you know, recirculate it again. So that can happen. Let me look in YouTube Studio right now. I wanted to start fish. Okay, well. What's stopping me? The only thing is from viewership is that you can't just continuously watch it on. Oh, funny thing is, with YouTube, this is a fun thing. If you slow the video down, because it's only counting the amount of time that you're spending on the video. So if you slow the video down to like make it double the amount of time that it is, so basically put the video in slow-mo, it won't count it for the time of how long the video is. It'll count it for how long you watch the video. So like, let's say like a video is 6 minutes, but then you say like, hey, I want to put it on like, you know, so like 2 times speed, you put it on like 0.5 speed, so it slows it down, then it will be, it'll count for 12 minutes instead of 6. A trick I found out. Oh, hold on a second. I need, this is so stupid. In order for this model to not be scrolling around, I have to do this stupid trick. So see now my model doesn't scroll when I want to do something. I don't know why it does this. This is literally the only way to fix this model. I don't know why it does this. It's a new thing. It's a new thing that VTube Studio has done, where basically no matter what area I'm in, no matter what area I'm selected in, it will like zoom in and out, because I use the scroll wheel in order to scroll up and down, but it also zooms my model in and out. And in order to stop that from happening, when I open up VTube Studio, whatever model it's on, I have to change to a different model and then go back to the model that I'm going to be streaming with. It's really dumb. I hate it. I hate it here. Anyways, let's go down to earnings. So, oh, yeah, you can't, there's a timer. There's a timer. Yeah, you can't just spam them. Anyways, so for 12 minutes. Yeah, so if you slow down like a YouTube video, then it's counting the amount of minutes that you're spending watching the video. It's not counting the time of the actual video, it's counting how many minutes you're actually spending on the video. So let me just tell you for YouTube how much it is in order to... Now, be in mind that YouTube basically has the affiliate and partner program. So you start with affiliate and then you get partner, right? So the starting your earning journey is what they call it, which you get access to memberships, supers, and shopping. The eligibility for this is you need to have reached 500 subscribers. You need to upload 3 videos within the last 90 days. And one of the following. One of the following be, they used to have it where shorts views counted towards public watch hours. Now they don't. So it's separated. So you either need to have 3,000 public watch hours, that's people watching your videos, 3,000 in 365 days. That means within a year, you have to reach 3,000. That's why I said, if I get like maybe 1,000 on a view, like let's say I have an hour-long video and people, you know, watch it for, and it gets 1,000 views because every single person watched it all the way, but you have to watch it all the way to the end. You know, you can't just be like exiting out of it. If everybody watched it beginning to end, then that means that I would have already 1,000 hours of watch time. You understand? Okay. And then for shorts, for public short views, you have to hit 3 million in 90 days. So basically in 3 months, you basically have to go viral every single month. right? Which is, that's crazy. And then, you know, then you have the partner program, which is continue to grow. Talk about a challenge. It's not a challenge. That means you have to be posting. I would say if I wanted to be able to reach that, I would be having to post 10 times a day and getting 1,000 views on every single video. And I mean, I would actually have to be posting 10 times a day, because then that's 10,000 every single day. And then I would be able to get up to that. So continue to grow. This is where you finally get ad revenue. And not only just ad revenue from videos, but also ad revenue from shorts, right? You need to have 1,000 subscribers, and you need to have 4,000 public watch hours, again, within a year, or 10 million. 10 million. That used to be 4 million. They increased it. 10 million public short view hours. Now, it does count if a person does rewatch your video over and over and over again. That does count. But that's why I like to say Twitch is way easier to get monetized on. YouTube is a struggle. Because a lot of people have this impression of like, oh, I'm just gonna go and make like YouTube videos and stuff, and then I'll get like monetized here, and then I'll be able to like move all my everybody like over to Twitch, and then I'll get monetized there really quickly. Yes and no. It is definitely way harder nowadays to get monetized on way harder now to get monetized on YouTube. And then TikTok is even harder. I would say the easiest one to get monetized on is Twitter. You might be like, why? Because all you have to do is pay $8. Or no, you have to pay like, I think you pay more than that. But you pay, and then you'll be able to make money back. But honestly, the amount of money that some people make is like maybe about enough to just pay for the check mark. Like it's enough to where they can pay for the next month. And I'm like, that's so funny. So now they're usually not making a whole lot from it, but it's really funny. The only thing that I really care about is actually getting to the first part of it, which is getting memberships and supers and shopping. The reason being is because then I can finally connect my shopping or like my merch store to my YouTube, so it's easier for people to buy merch really easily because it'll just direct them directly to it, which is so much easier. And then of course like memberships, but supers, some people like comment with like paying money with comments. So yeah. I think I'm definitely closer to that on my YouTube or on my main channel than I am on my regular. So I'm just gonna be transparent right now with this. So I have 641 subscribers, so I've already hit the 500 subscriber threshold. But when it comes to valid public short views, I only have 26,000 out of 3 million. And when it comes to public watch hours, I have 5 out of 3,000. So it's not difficult to get the followers. It's hard to get the view time. That's the issue. That's the issue with YouTube. And that's fully being transparent, by the way. My VODs channel, on the other hand, is like way worse. it's hard to keep an audience on YouTube. I don't think that's hard to keep an audience on YouTube. I think it's hard to... And it's hard to get people to watch your videos. That's what's hard. That's not... to me, that's not like keeping an audience. It's just like trying to get people to watch your videos is so incredibly hard. Because again, you're competing with other content creators on there, like Mr. Beast, okay? I'm gonna be honest here. Everybody basically just wants Mr. Beast video editing, okay? I know that a lot of people don't realize this, but that's what people want. That's honestly like why I want to make more specified like YouTube videos. That's why I want to take time off of streaming just to make YouTube videos, like specific YouTube videos to post up on YouTube. By the way, there are some specific YouTube videos that are just on YouTube. Some of them have been made from my streams, and then I edited them down and posted them up on the main channel. But most of my viewership is from shorts. So a lot of them don't come over and watch the videos. They don't care. They don't care about the videos. They care about the shorts. That's a problem. That's definitely an issue. And it's like trying to get them from moving from your shorts content to your video content. I mean, what you can do is you can link related videos, right? And then you can be able to like shuffle them over. But it is really hard because like with YouTube has another the same problem that Twitch does, which is you have to make your audience somewhere else and then bring them over to watch your videos. And I'm like, what's the point then? So yeah, that's how YouTube is. So, but YouTube wants you to be as niche as possible. And I think that's a problem because I don't like being niche. So, by the way, on YouTube, on my VODs channel, it said, oh my gosh, celebrate 4 years. And I'm like, it's been 4 years on here. Yeah, there's 4 years of content on there. My first year of streaming, unfortunately, is not on there because I messed up with how I used to record my videos. So yeah, there's also a few videos that kind of didn't end up ever being. So I like to call it the lost year. The lost year of streaming. There's still some clips from back then, but it's the lost year of streaming. Yeah. But at least like with some of it, like I've hit the follower goal. It's just trying to get the viewership goal. And again, the issue is like I'm not making specific videos for YouTube, and YouTube doesn't like it. But right now when it comes to my content, I'm gonna be transparent. And for that, you're punished. Exactly. Most of my viewership is... I'm lucky to maybe get 10 views on a video. There's one where I got like 88, and I'm like, how the hell did that happen? But yeah. Now, to be fair, some of these are highlights, you know, or edited down videos of things from streams. Like, you know, me being a noob and playing Elden Ring for the first time. And that was like, I think like a 3 to 4 hour long video that I edited down into like an hour. There's some other cool stuff. There's some, you know, there's some shorts there. You know, there are like longer videos here, you know, that are, you know, 10, 15 minutes, 11 minutes. And then, you know, there's other like related shorts and stuff like that, or highlight videos or whatever. Oh. You know, that's why I'm like, I wish like I had the money for an editor, because then I could go like, hey, I want you to edit this video. And then I could just like send the video off and just say like, hey, yeah, can you edit this? Can you edit this for me? And then I'll upload it and get it all sorted. That's kind of like the problem. I'm trying to make more like highlight videos, stuff like that. Just like, you know, at the end of the day, all you can do is just post up more. And just like hope. Hope, pray. But I will say, like, one thing I did want to do was like definitely be posting up more videos, and I've been doing that, so that's really good. I don't post very often, and I don't really have a schedule. I just kind of post them when I have the time or have the ability or have them on hand. You know, right now I think there's a few videos I want to edit. There's some stuff, there's some content I just want to make myself. Like, I want to have a script, and then I want to talk about it, and then want to edit it into a full video or whatever, and then post it out. So there are like some that I kind of want to do that with. There's like some art tutorial stuff I would like to talk about. There's like other kind of things. There's like a writing one that I want to talk about. Like basically how to do world building really simply, because world building is really difficult. So it's like, here's a really easy breakdown of how you can do it, and how it can feel realistic. You know, so if you want like a super realistic feeling world when it comes to fantasy, especially like fantasy world building, but you can apply it to any world building. It's like, you don't have to apply it to fantasy. You can apply it to sci-fi. You can apply it to a whole bunch of stuff. Posting and hoping could help, but there are times where it's hard to work around ongoing. Yeah, that's basically it. Is like, I would love to like post every other month. That's what I hope to do eventually. But right now it's just like time and ability to do so, right? The only thing I can do is just, because like a lot of people have just been saying like, well, you should just edit people's content and then you can be able to make, you know, grow from that. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want people to follow or like my content or follow me just because I do editing. You get what I mean? Like, I don't want you to follow me just because, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow you and wait to hear when you do editing stuff. Like, I don't want you to follow me because of my editing. I want you to follow me because you like my content, or you like the art that I posted, or you like the commissions that I do, right? Like, you're following me because you like things I'm doing. I mean, I guess some people could be like, oh well, I like the content, I like the editing that you do, and that's why I followed you. I guess I can understand that, but at the end of the day, it's like, I also just don't want to do editing for people, because I think I'm gonna run out of space a lot quicker than normal. I mean, I have thought about it. I want to probably test the waters maybe on doing it. The only issue is like, I would like need things from them, and I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna like need certain assets and stuff from you, you know? As I understand, gain followers just by proxy of another creator, but in the process, some might think of you as an extension of said creator. Yeah. So it's like, you know, I'm gonna like put out a thing here. Like, one of the editors from Markiplier, I only know him because he's an editor for Markiplier, but other people know him as a game designer because he designs games as well. And it's like, to me, that kind of feels sad because it's like, you know, I now know him as more of a game designer than I do like, oh yeah, that's Mark's editor now. But I can understand like some people just being like, oh, you're just like, oh, you're so-and-so's editor, right? And it's like, yeah, I am. And they're like, cool, can you edit for me? And it's like, no. Because that's the other issue that comes up with being an editor, is eventually you're gonna have people go like, oh, I want you to edit for me, I want you to edit for me. And then it's like, okay, now I'm just an editor and I don't have time to do any of the other things that I want to do. And I don't want to be an editor. That's the other thing, is like, you know, I don't want to be this. I do editing, but that doesn't mean I want to be an editor. And I think that's the difference. That's why I don't want to take editing commissions, because I don't want to be an editor. So that's I think like the main takeaway from most of the reasons to why I don't want to do editing. And a lot of people might be like, oh, but you know, you talk about the commissions that you do for people and like the VTuber model commissions that you've done. And I'm like, yeah, because I worked hard to bring that to life. Like, I worked hard in some sort of aspect. Like, that's what I want to do. It's something I want to do. I don't mind being known for that as like a proxy to that, you know? Like, I made Peepees, or she also goes by Pia P. I made her Furby model. I was her Furby model mama and papa. And I don't mind being known as that in some people in her community. I don't mind being known as that. I don't care. At one end, it's a steady flow of income, but no sense of agency whatsoever. The other is purely doing what one wants and just hoping. Yeah, kind of. Basically, actually, one of my model children actually alerted me to a scammer that was actually using my work to promote themselves. And I will tell you this much, when I commented, that post was taken down so quickly. That post was gone in a matter of hours. I'm like, you gonna do that again? You gonna try that again? Yeah, a lot of my model children do stand. They stand on principle. They're like, nah. They're like, nah. You're not gonna irritate my model mama. You're not gonna do this. They alerted me, and I did tell them like in DMs. I said, thank you so much for alerting me. I probably would have never known without you alerting me to that. Thank you so much. The creators don't find out. Yeah, another person on TikTok told me that somebody on Instagram was doing that to me, was doing that as well, and I told them I don't have an Instagram, unfortunately, so I can't really call them out or anything like that, but I did call them out on other platforms just to say, which is really interesting that people know my art enough to where they're like, hey, I know that creator. So it's like, I might be small, but people identify my art enough, which actually is like really nice. But you want to know what I view scamming, like the stealing of my art? Okay, it's really funny. I actually don't mind when people steal my art, but not for the reasons that you think. It's because you think it's good enough that you wish to steal it. That means my art is pretty good. Like, I mean, if it's good enough to where you steal it, then hey. Also, funny enough, the art that was stolen was literally my VTuber. I was like, But if that person hasn't taken that post down, that's it. if the person hasn't posted and taken it down, it would be so funny because people be like, "Oh my gosh." I feel like now, like as I grow like bigger and like over time, there's gonna be like some growing here. But yeah, people do recognize my art. I've had people tell me like I'll be scrolling because some other creators tell me like, you know, I'll be scrolling through stuff and like your art is just so recognizable that I immediately know it's you, and I'm like, that's actually really nice. So, you know, I've gotten to the point with my art that, you know, my art style is so unique and so interesting in the way that it is that people know it's my art instantaneously. Which, by the way, as an artist, you do need to be recognizable for your art. And I think just my style and the way that it it just kind of is like that. I think it's just because, in a way, I have like a good way of making my art feel very colorful, but also I can make my art look very dark as well. I mean, I really love doing the light forms. That's been really fun. That's basically having a black canvas and then just taking one color and making the form like basically come out of the darkness. It's like so great. I love doing that with traditional work. I'm a very big charcoal kind of person. I love using charcoal with traditional work. Honestly, I would love to possibly do like, you know, actual charcoal work for people, like, you know, where I do take commissions for doing actual like charcoal images and stuff like that, or charcoal drawings would be really cool. But at the same time, like, I haven't done it in some time, so I'd have to get back into doing it. But maybe if we do have art streams or whatever, I'll or like a standing desk and everything, and I can set it up in my office here. Maybe we can do like charcoal streams where I will be doing traditional work, so you can see me actually doing traditional work. Yeah. Sometimes sounds one of high demand. Yeah. Charcoal's really it's a very forgiving medium. And a lot of how I work is very similar to how I would approach charcoal drawings. So you can kind of see when a person has done traditional work or not, or like has done a lot of traditional work based on how they do their artwork. And most of the time with me, what I basically do is like, you know, I get the shape and the flat colors down, and then I start going in and making, you know, the shadows, right? Blocking out all the shadows, and then I start kind of blending it a little bit, and then I put in more shadows because and this needs to be harsher, this needs to be that. And that's what you do with charcoal, you know? You sketch out kind of what you want the form to be, and then you start blocking in all the shadows. You kind of start maybe smudging a little here and there, and then darkening, and, you know, and as you progress, you get to those darker and darker and darker shadows, because you don't want to get too dark just yet. Because, like, once you get too dark, it's very hard to come back into the light. So, you know, but with digital, it's a little bit more forgiving than that. And then with digital stuff, I start laying down, like, the darker colors. So I have another layer just for darkening it. But then I also have an overlay layer to allow ambient light and start doing the ambient light. So it's getting another darker pass over it. So it's just, like, slowly going into the stage of darker, darker, darker. And then eventually at the end, you get to the lighter. And you start doing the highlights, you start putting in the little areas here that lightens it up a little bit. So, and that's like the same process I would go through with doing charcoal as well. It's like where you're kind of like laying out the darkness, and then you're bringing in the light back to it by erasing. Mostly by erasing. Most of the time when you're doing it through erasing. But yeah. Charcoal, though, is a little bit expensive sometimes, because you're working with wood. So it can be a little expensive. especially because you usually are, most of the time, I will have gone through a good amount of charcoal by the end of it. Not too much, but once you do like a certain amount of charcoal drawings, you're gonna need replenished. So yeah. I think in there I went through like maybe a stick or two, maybe even more than that. So with charcoal, you get like charcoal sticks, and charcoal sticks are really nice. There's also other like higher end charcoal stuff that you can use, which I do eventually want to get to. But yeah, like that's something that we could probably do in the future, of doing actual charcoal drawings so you can see. What we might do is we might do what are called master copies. Master copies is basically where we take an image, a drawing, an actual like image, a statue or something like that, and then I have to replicate it. So we can do some of those, and I can talk about like what master drawings basically are, and like this is how a lot of people studied, and that, you know, this is the way of how people study. This is the way. Do you know the way? So but it would be cool if I could do that. But again, one of the digital forms of how I do that is doing the light forms, because how I approach that is very similar to how I would do a charcoal drawing. So basically it's like doing charcoal drawings but digitally. And I do have more freedom to kind of be a little bit more creative with it. So those are really cool. I like how they turn out because they're always really awesome. Also, it's definitely a really big struggle to figure out like how to do forms and everything. A lot. And then of course, you know, I have regular illustration commissions and all of that sort of stuff. So just depends on what you kind of want. I think like over time I've become like a lot better, you know, you get used to like figuring out what your drawing style is and kind of how you want to go about things. So it's always great that, you know, if people do steal my art, that most of the time, even though I'm a smaller creator, my art's pretty recognizable. Like you're gonna know it. You're gonna know it right off the bat. You're gonna be like, this looks a bit fishy, and you don't look like that. And voice is very soothing to hear at some point. Thank you. Yeah, this is my normal speaking voice. I mean, this is how I normally speak most of the time when it comes to things. It's just like most of the time, you know, when it's just like a just chatting stream, I like am definitely like my level goes from like really high to really low. But in literally less than a few minutes, I'm going to be having to join a collab, so we are gonna dip from here, and I'm gonna just raid them. Honestly, we're gonna dip from here. We're gonna raid into them, and then you're gonna hear me probably screaming a bunch. But in collabs, depending on the energy of the people, you know, I feed off a lot of the energy, so. Yeah, but a lot of times, like during, you know, when I'm talking about like crazy stuff or something like that, then yeah, I do get a little bit louder. But most of the time, this is how I speak. This is my normal speaking voice. But I'm glad that people enjoy my voice. A lot of people have said that they enjoy my voice. I was speaking on the medium. When the sticks used for charcoal drawings be made readily at home? So the thing is with charcoal, you can make charcoal at home. Yes, that is true. However, there is a difference between the charcoal that's made, there's a little bit of some differences between charcoal that is made for drawing and for art, and charcoal that you can just make and charcoal that you can just make, because it has a little bit more refinedness to it. So how it burns and how it is it's a little bit different, I believe. It's not exactly too different, so you can definitely make charcoal for yourself at home. It's just you have to, the drawing being minor. Yeah, there's particular types of wood that work really well for charcoal drawings. So you can't just, go out and get whatever wood and use it. You could do it, that's kind of how charcoal really started off, as like something to use for writing and drawing. By the way, charcoal is one of the oldest forms of like doing art. Okay, it's one of the oldest forms that was used, alongside that of painting, right? Of making a paint. Charcoal and some sort of painted paste has been used for centuries. Okay, it's just that charcoal, of course, eventually over time does wash out, right? Unless you nowadays, like, if you put something over it, it'll stick. But back in the day, that wasn't how it was. A lot different. Definitely a lot different than what it is. So you can't just normally go out and just kind of get any wood. There's certain kinds of woods that work really well for charcoal. The other thing is that some of the charcoal sticks are just literal sticks. So they're like kind of like branches or twigs of these woods that are taken and then, of course, burned to become charcoal. The other thing is that you want a wood that isn't fragile enough that it'll like crumble. You want it to be hard enough where it can become like a charcoal stick. Yeah. So yeah, there's the sticks, and then of course there's just like the compacted charcoal that are kind of, and then they sometimes will take those sticks and then put them in charcoal pencils. So wood inside of wood. And you make charcoal pencils. I'm gonna be honest, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy for the way of how I sharpen my pencil. I would have to, if I do it, or if I do have to sharpen my pencil at any point, if we do it on stream, I would have to do it off camera, because what I do is I take an X-Acto knife, or like a very sharp knife. You take a very sharp knife. Don't do this at home, kids. Be careful. You take a very sharp knife and you shave it. Shave it off. You don't use a pencil sharpener. The reason that you use it that way is because you want the nib to be really long. You want the little nib on the pencil to be really, really long. But the other thing is that you can control the shape of that nib to be as fine as you want. And you kind of want one side to be really nice and thin and the other side to be kind of like not thin. So you can use that for like block shading, and then the other one for like finer details. So you basically create your own like nib. So that's but if I do have to shave it, I have to do it off. Like, I have to do it away, because yeah. it's not safe, and I probably might get bonked on Twitch or even YouTube for using that. So even though that it is being used in an artistic capacity, I'm not trying to hurt myself. Because it is technically classified as a weapon or could cause self-harm, then I have to do it away from the camera. And the other thing is, in case I do, because I have almost cut myself before, so don't want to show blood on stream. So I'll be like, if I do, I'll be like, I'll be right back, guys. I just cut myself a little bit with that. Oops, didn't mean to. I'll be right back. Most of the time, I'm pretty good. You know, you're supposed to hold it more at the end and not really close to where you're shaving it. But sometimes it's like, if it gets really small, if the pencil gets really small, there's not enough space between here. So you have to be really careful. But yeah, I am going to see if that buddy is. Oh, no. What? Okay. All right. Let me see. No, they are not yet. They're not streaming yet. They will eventually. But yeah, so I've also thought about doing cooking streams because I talk a lot about cooking. I like cooking. I would like to do that. But for right now, I think we're gonna probably do some reading streams. Considering like a lot of people like to say how soothing my voice is. I've gotten that like so many times of how my because you said it and I've heard it from other people too of how soothing my voice is and like it's so nice. I just want to go to sleep with it. So what I was thinking of doing is doing late night reading streams. I don't know when I'll do them because what I kind of want to do is make a little setup or like a little stream just for it. And the other thing is that I might actually make a specific like streaming profile for it. Or like maybe like scene collection for it. So it's only for reading streams because then I can turn off all audio and stuff like that. There'll be no audio. It's just me reading. There's no audio, no nothing. Just me kind of reading and then maybe commenting about some of the stuff that we're reading about and just kind of just chilling, vibing, bad. And no, you can use it as background stuff, you can use it whatever. And then those videos, I might edit them a little bit and actually post them up on the main channel for some ASMR stuff. Oh, I don't know, best friend reads to you. VTuber reads to you. Reads to you on a late night, you know. And then of course, you know, we'll be going through certain books and all that sort of stuff. So, or I was just thinking about posting like the full length videos onto there because there'll be like no interruptions, there's no nothing. I'll even turn chat off, like chat will be off. I won't be able to kind of like read chat, so it'll just be like completely just you do not need to interact kind of stream. When an ad plays, what I'll do is I'll stop reading and I'll be like, okay, it's time to take a little stretch, a little break. So it's like if people are using it for like study time or whatever, then it's like a perfect like 3-minute break. We're having a 3-minute break of stretching and doing all this stuff and getting up and making sure that you're all nice and cozy. Maybe get a new a cup of something to drink, and then it's like, and then we'll return, you know. So that's what I'll kind of do when an ad plays. That way, so it's like more, you know, going along with things and all that sort of stuff. That's what I was thinking about. All right, I'm trying. He said one. He said one. Let me. Sorry. I'm like checking our collab server. By the way, I will not be streaming the collab. I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be going over onto Nightwolf's stream and I'm waiting until he comes on so that then I can be like, hi, I did remember the collab. I just streamed earlier, but then I can be able to join. I'm coming. I'm coming in. Let me in. Let me in. See, most of the time I'm very calm, and then we have the craziness, right? So there's that. been such an interesting time. Oh, look. Yeah. Anyways. I'm like, I'm out just biding time. I'm biding time. So then I can read into them. Be like, congratulations on your 4-year anniversary. Yeah. Honestly, when I first started streaming, this person is one of the first few people that I met when I started streaming. Most of the other people that I met early on with streaming have like kind of either quit or are doing something else now. And then I'm trying to think, but most or have moved on. Like, you know, we're just not in contact anymore. But him and a few other people I met like 5 years ago, and I'm still like with them. And there's more people that because of them have been added into the group. So if you're here for like the 5-year, the 12 hours of chaos, yeah, that was crazy. Honestly, what I really want to try and do is probably try and get to 500 on Twitch by the end of this year. But and then for that 500, I might do like another 12-hour thing. I don't know. That's what I was like thinking about doing. But with the 12 hours, that was just so fun. It was great. And I can like remember. And some of the people that I had on there were like newer people that I had met because of them. And you know, I was just growing. I've been like growing my streamer like group a lot, and it's just really nice. It's mostly people that I interact with. Like, first off, usually when I am inviting people, I usually just ask myself, I'm like, you know, how, you know, do I interact with these people? How do I interact with these people? You know, will they say yes? Okay, finally. Finally, they're streaming. Good. Oh. Sorry, they got pre-rolled ads on. Oh, it's their affiliate anniversary. Oh, my affiliate anniversary is going to be coming up in July. Don't worry, we're not doing anything. I know some people are going to be like, but you should. No, we're not doing anything, okay? Because I do it in May, because I do it for when I actually started streaming. That to me is my streamer affiliate anniversary and stuff. That's kind of how I am. So I always celebrate stuff in May. So whenever something comes up, it's in May. Honestly, I kind of want to do, one May I want to do like basically an entire subathon for the entirety of May called Monster May. And it's just like, you know, because I'm a monster girl. And for Monster May, like every stream will like do something. And you know, I'll like set something up where I have to do like some sort of thing, and you know, when we get up to certain subs or something like that and unlock something, you know, just as normal. I can't do bits though, because bits is like can't do anything that, so yeah. Like bits, it's like, oh, just thank you for the bits. It'll probably be more like subs than follows. Maybe I might do like a follower thing. I don't know. I'm waiting for these ads to end. I think he played ads early. Oh, it looks like Rufus also had the same idea that I did, which is like rating him. Rufus had the same idea. Okay, so I'm gonna say There we go. Tummy's better. Mama are just checking on me because my tummy has not been happy. Yes, they're finally here. Okay, good. Hold on. Okay. I gotta use... Okay. I think this is a universal emote, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay. So I'm making a special raid message. When I get up, she'll probably eat lunch with me. All right. So without any further ado, I'm going to send you guys over to Nightwolf. I will be joining him eventually for his celebration. So if you guys want to grab that raid message, I highly encourage you to, please. So that when we raid into him, he gets that celebration train. I did make sure that the emote that we're using is a global emote, so it doesn't matter if you are a subscriber or not a subscriber, you should be able to access it. So yeah, I always try to make like these things kind of like one that you can copy it. Copied down, good. So let me get the actual raid going here then. Oh, that no. There we go. Let me just copy his username just to make sure, because sometimes I misspell things. So let me chat that. Okay, and let me grab the message myself. Okay. We good here. So yeah. So anyways, I will be trying to work in the background on getting stuff prepared for the reading streams. Those will be, I'm planning on them being kind of on Tuesday, because I used to stream Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So we'll make it on that Tuesday. And what we'll do is I'll eventually make it that you can be able to chat will be able to vote on what book. I'm mainly going to put that in the Discord so that you guys can vote on what book that we're going to read. And then if no one picks, I'll just spin a wheel, and whatever book it lands on, that's the book we'll read. When it comes around to Halloween time, I'm going to be hoping that we're going to be like finishing up on that book, and then we'll move over to doing like a Halloween one. What we might do is that there might be a break in between the reading streams, just so that we can choose the next book. And like if a holiday is coming up or something like that, then we'll pick a book that's kind of surrounded by that holiday. So yeah. And without any further ado, I will be over on Nightwolf stream, so definitely go and check that out, as we're going to be having a celebration. And as I always say, may the stars guide you until next time. Bye everybody!